and Christ and love. We are. I made the stream, set up the stream earlier. Oh Lord, let's see. Frank, comrade, hello. Crash, good to see you. Plasma, always. We just need a fifth. Um, I made the. I wanted to continue the conversation about love, particularly as it relates to the people that we interact with here on YouTube. But then I set up the stream and I was thinking about the topic and having all these deep thoughts and stuff. And I realized I don't want to talk about love anymore. I, it's one of those things I think you can talk or analyze to death, and I want to find ways to make it happen. So I want to like each day on stream, I want to find ways to flex our love muscle with each other. A little bit, those that want to. I was thinking about Christ all day at work. Not Christ the person. Although I was thinking about like Christianity has the idea of submission, submitting to Christ. Like you alone as a human are not enough, and AA draws on this theme a lot too. You need this higher power, whether it's a deity like Christ or a higher part of yourself. It's fruity in the pants. Um, and then I was tying it with Tibet to BDSM, and especially if we rebrand to Daddy Jesus, Hot Jesus, Manly Jesus, that might change the whole picture of being able to follow Christ. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna experiment. I haven't had much luck with the AI lately, but I need to find a way to get some prototypes drawn up for our new Christ rebrand reboot. Ooh, boots. Let's see. Um. Oh, I thought you meant me. Sorry. See, that ego keeps. To me, Christ is whatever's not the ego, beyond the ego. So if the ego keeps rearing its head, then you're not quite at Christ yet. But were a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Then I'll drop the link and we'll do a panel. One was leadership. I'm still doing that project for Toastmasters on my leader. I need to present my leadership style. So I need to figure out what it is. And Toastmasters had these little exercises you could do, and they had specific, like 8 or 9 or 10 very specific leadership styles. But mine is kind of a mix or a blend and some things that's not even on their list. And I'm really good at leading people that want to be led. They're here to be led. I don't have to like win them over. They have this intrinsic motivation to learn or to like a good example where I lead really well is board games, teaching people how to play new board games. So I'm only really good at teaching the people that show up with an earnest passion to play the game in the first place. And you don't have to like convince them or win them over. There's not this resistance that I kind of want to play a game, but I don't know if I want to get in. This one looks complicated. I'm better at, yeah, man, I'm in a cool board game. And then I can take it from there. They bring that enthusiasm. But I was thinking particularly about not leadership or not me leading, but times when I need the leadership or I need to be led. Maybe even times that I don't even realize. I don't consider it shameful or humiliating or embarrassing in any way to need leadership at certain times or in certain moments or for certain projects. And I was realizing that in order to lead effectively, in order for me to lead, the type of people I'm good at leading in the way that I'm good at leading, I need leadership from other people to help me fill in the areas that I'm not strong in, but that I'm going to need to draw on to do my leadership. So it's kind of getting it at both ends, or getting the leadership you need is just as important as giving the leadership that's unique to you. And I know when people went to a training class and learned like recipes for how to lead or templates or scripts because they're very obvious when people use them and they instantly lose me as a follower at that point. If it's too artificial and contrived, I'm not gonna be able to follow it. I might be able to play along, but I'm no longer looking at you to provide leadership because you're just performing. You're parroting back this kind of cant or rhetoric that you were taught in some training class. You're not A, trying to get to know the people you're leading, which is important, and B, actually trying to lead those particular people in the way that they need to be led. The other thing I want to talk about was I was thinking more about that fear of success thing and what might be my main reason for it. I think it's because it exposes you to yourself. You have to face you finally have to face your ability, the limits of your ability. You at that when you become successful, you have to put up or shut up. Though one of those. Um I have so much imposter syndrome, so much inadequacies. If if I achieve success, now I have been successful before, what I would consider successful, and they were on my own terms in the areas that I was good at. But if I'm gonna, if when people talk about fearing success, they're talking about fearing this generalized success, maybe wealth, fame, that kind of stuff. Whatever your level of success is. I feel like you have to be good enough to earn the success. And if I have success without feeling like I've earned it, I'm always going to feel like a fake. Like I am delivering people a product that they think they're getting, but they're not really they're if I have to give more, they're going to discover they're not really getting it. And so I think more than anything that is what it's like performance like once you reach success, then you have to perform. You're saying to the world, I am capable of this, and you have to do it at that level from that point on. That is what I don't want to face or find out if I have the ability to do or not. Because if I fail at that, that's going to collapse a lot of things that I thought about myself. And we talked about disintegration kind of stuff that's already happening. So I wanted to add those two things. The thing about needing leadership and where do you find leadership? Where do you turn to for leadership? There's times you know you need leadership, so you're like, okay, I need to call this person or this person has a website. And then there are times you might need leadership but not realize you need leadership. And people might be trying to lead and you're resisting it because you don't think you need it. So I'm looking at both kinds of needing leadership. And then more on the fear of success. But love in the Panelverse, I think just love, and I think the last stream we talked about starting with just letting go of hate or just letting go of some of the animosity, some of the hostility, and see if that brings just a tiny little bit of healing. So that's what I'm throwing on the table for today. You're of course welcome to come up and bring your own topics or expand on these. Talk about whatever you want. Open panel. And tomorrow I'm going to do a members only stream. And then Thursday is a new month. So I'm going to give out some more memberships for the new tier. All right, hang on. What am I doing? Pinning the link. So other than that, um, that's what I got. I'm still on this love thing, partly because, like I said, it's I've loved before, but the memory is so like faint, like far in the past. But if if I'm gonna, I don't know. It feels if, like I said the other day, I know what Satan is. I know what Satan is because I know exactly where to go inside of myself to find it. I know just where to find that energy, how to draw on it, how to use it, how to identify it when it's active, all of that. Just instinct. I don't even have to like think about it, learn it. I just know it. This Christ thing is so unfamiliar. Although I had it as a kid, just in a different way. I'm feeling around in fog. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know how to find it. I'm just kind of there hoping that it's like in a video game where you get to a new level and you can't figure out what to do. And so you just walk around and play with things and maybe you hope at some point you're going to touch the right thing that activates the way to the next part of the game. It's not a negative feeling, but it's not a feeling that motivates me or drives growth. And so there's that, and then when I tie that in with love, okay, that's the Christ part. But if with the love part, if we substitute Christ with that, there's so much resistance. So much. It feels all kind of ways, but it feels icky, creepy, scary, risky, foolish, potentially overwhelming, destabilizing, even though that's supposed to be one of the paths to like loving. And these streams are little pieces that are intended to kind of tie together into a larger picture. And we talked about on one of them connection as being part of community and individual connection. Like connection is that's what connection is. It's connection between individuals. There's nothing larger than that other than the synergy that we call community itself, which is like all of the individual connections taken as a whole, but something larger than any one, like a gestalt thing. So when you zoom down to the individual connection level, the highest form of that, is that not love in some form? Whether it's friendship love, platonic love, brotherly love, family love, neighborly, romantic, erotic, whatever kind of love. Wouldn't that connect people on a like really deep level, if not the deepest, at least a very deep level? And then maybe hatred being the converse of that love. Does hatred tie people together? Does it connect people? I almost think, especially on YouTube, that hatred bonds people, but that is the love. Hatred is love in the Panelverse. A lot of the fights I see in the conflict seems like male bonding to me. They're not gonna like meet each other in person and give each other a big hug and roll around on the ground together. As cool as that would be to see, and not even in a gay way, just like in a men coming together way. We have a few panel bromances forming, by the way. Ricardo was here last night talking about that he and Hank are now an item. I'm panel single. I'm up for a panel boyfriend. So there's that. But in the panelverse, that takes the form of your mama, you do this with kids, you cheated on your I'm going to call you job. It takes the form of like being as verbally aggressive with the person you're trying to bond with as possible. And I remember Landry talked about picking fights with people as a way of as a way into getting to know them and maybe bonding with them. I've used that tactic before, myself, even as a kid. I used to be in the fourth grade. So the way my little town was set up, Head Start, which is pre-K, Head Start through third grade was in one building on one campus, and then in a whole different part of town, on a completely different campus, was grades 4 through 12, all on one piece of property, all in one building, really. And so at recess, it was the fourth through eighth graders on one side of the playground, and then the high school kids had their section. And so when you got there in the fourth grade, it was kind of like being a freshman. You were the new kid at this bigger school, 4 through 12. And so the older kids try to, like when the new fourth graders come in, they try to haze you or like at least show you who's boss or like let you know that this is their territory, you're the new kid. I would harass the shit out of those eighth graders at seventh grade and the older kids. They would run to the office crying that this fourth grader is picking on them and will not leave them alone and is being mean to them. I wasn't having it. This was my playground. Grades K through 3 was my playground. And it wasn't going to be any different at this new building. I didn't know these older kids. I didn't care who they were. I am still going to have my playground. And I would taunt them. I would harass them, like just for fun. One of my favorite things to do at recess is go find some of the older kids and tease them and pick on them, and either make them chase me or make them run to the office. Either one gave me satisfaction. I forgot why I was telling this story. I'm sure it'll link up somehow. Memberships, I love it. Oh yeah, panel male bonding and conflict as a way for men to bond. I bond through conflict. I've made really good. friendships through conflict. In fact, some of my closest friends were people that I started out having this instant hatred for. Again, you have that love hatred connection. I'll have just this instant hatred or personality clash with them, and I'll be like, I can't stand this person. This is the one person in the room I can't stand. Everybody else is cool. I wish this one person would just go away, and it would be a nice environment. And then over time, somehow me and this person end up being best friends. To where it got to the point, like in my 20s and 30s, where if I started to hate someone, I would take that as a sign to like, oh, well, look for the friendship. Start working on the friendship right now. That's your cue that this is gonna be a really good friend potentially. And Vegas was kind of the opposite. Vegas was friendship. In Vegas, this is the rule of Vegas. Your best friend is an enemy waiting to happen. You don't know when, you don't know how or why, but people in Vegas flip like this. If it gives them an advantage, they're people are constantly social climbing. And if anybody tells you hi in Vegas, if you're at a party or a pool, like swimming or hanging out on the strip, if anybody in Vegas tells you hi and starts talking to you and is friendly, the very first thing you better ask yourself is what do they want from you? You can still keep talking to be friends, but start looking for that agenda because nobody does anything in Vegas for no reason. And so conflict for me, conflict teaches me a lot about I can learn a lot about a person through conflict, particularly if I'm the one in the conflict with them. If I have one or two good fights with the person, no more than two. Usually one is all it takes if it's really good. I will know more about that person than some of the closest people in their life. It's kind of like people that, like these chess masters, they can play chess with people and not even talk and know their whole psychology from just the way they play chess. I'm like that with conflict. If I fight with you, really fight with you, go at it with you, I'm gonna come away knowing a lot more about you than when it started, and probably with the deeper respect, even if we don't end up not getting along or whatever. Just the fact that you could enter the ring. And another reason I say that about the male bonding, like here in the Panelverse, is because my brothers growing up, and not even them, like a lot of the neighborhood kids, I watched this a lot with younger males. They would physically fight all the time, like wrestle, like play fight, like kind of like dogs do. Like my brothers and the younger kids around would do that with each other constantly. I mean, you would just be sitting like at a table, just eating a snack or something. Next thing you know, there's two boys on the ground fighting and wrestling, and sometimes they're laughing. Sometimes it sounds like they're in distress, and then they'll start laughing. So you're never sure. Do I step in? Do I stop it? Are they having fun? Is this play? That was like the norm growing up with guys. Me and my stepbrother would fight. He was my age. We would he would like spontaneously just attack me and start like trying to fight, and we would roll around the floor and try to pull hair and like punch. I would try to punch eyes, and it was fun. I remember it like it was one of the things we did. We did a lot of crazy stuff for fun. It was one of the things we did for fun because it happened repeatedly. If it was not fun, it would have only happened one time. So yeah, memberships, male bonding, love, gay bar for straight men. What is this place turning into? Was any of this predictable from the start when a gay Satanist started a third place YouTube channel for people to hang out? I honestly I didn't intend it or foresee it. I thought when I started my channel, because kind of grew out of P.F. Jung's community. I thought it was going to be a bunch of nerds talking philosophy and psychology and culture and politics, like deep dives into. And we've had those on here with the right guest, but that is not what it turned into. And I wouldn't trade it now when it is just nerds and it's like too nerdy. It's something's missing it. It's that Panelverse energy that I could not have predicted or foreseen when I started this. So in many ways, the Panelverse opened me beyond just logic, that strictly rational, analytical brain that likes to geek out on concepts and ideas and particulars and pedantics. And I've had that in other places growing up. Like I was the lone nerd growing up, so pretty much everybody around me was. If you were interacting with them at all, you had to get out of that mode. And it took me a while, a long while, probably because of the autism, to understand that other people were not, they didn't have those interests. They didn't want to sit there and talk about the encyclopedia article you just read. Hey, Track, what's up? We're talking about love and male bonding and all kind of stuff. Just leadership, like needing leadership. Where do leaders go to get leadership when they need it? And how do you know when you need it? And also fear of success. Why do people fear success? Much love to all. Yeah, you can pull up. Track is good at bringing the love, and he has the beard. Maybe he could be the model for the manly Jesus, hunky Jesus. Like you know how like Aunt Jemima had actual live people that she was modeled after. You can be the new hunky Jesus. Hunky Jesus with a ball cap. Welcome. Look at that. That's a Jesus of today. That's a Jesus people will follow. How you? What's up?
I'm doing good. And I hope you are, and everybody out there.
Yeah, as good as I could be, I guess. I can't think of a way to make it any better, other than do a panel. Keep doing a panel. Did you work today?
So, yes, yeah, been still been working quite a bit. Um,
Because of
you were
those
talking about,
vacancies.
yeah, yeah. So you're talking about love in different aspects, I guess. Whether it's panel versus love, and then you mentioned leadership, and
Yeah, I kind of have this. Well, it started when it started with Christ, and then the suggestion that is love is Christ's love. If Christ is love, is it easier to just start with love and figure out how to just love another person or people? And so that's kind of what it grew from. And then loving in person is probably different and maybe a little easier than loving remotely through a computer screen. And I want to hear from actual people if you have found on YouTube friendships that you would consider authentic, real friendships that you have some kind of love or affection or goodwill for the person beyond just what you would give to a stranger, an acquaintance. So if you've actually, we're not talking romantic love, deep love, anything like that, but if you found any kind of platonic love on YouTube, please come up and tell us about it or in the chat.
I mean, I feel like I have.
You have?
I do feel that way. Um, it can be hard to explain, but there's those. Oh man, what words to use? Um, like fundamentals
Hmm.
of relationships. Um, leading with honesty and purpose, maybe to start with two words. Um, because if you believe in like a get what you give type of relationship, if you are honest and in a purpose of growth for yourself, then the person that you are honest with, your purpose can not just be for your growth, but it can be for theirs as well. And if you believe and trust that they are being honest with you, then it becomes like a symbiotic. I'm
Hmm.
honest. I believe that you're honest, and we both grow together type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I have with
So,
Mike.
for instance, a channel like yours, yes, you open doors and allow people up. Um, I believe that I am honest with you about the facts of my life, and I trust that your responses or your sharing um, in a an equal type of um, in the idea of being similar. So if I tell you that I'm in this type of pain, or I've gone through down a road like this, and you say that you understand because you've had some instances in your life, and then
Mm.
uh, maybe I'm trying to grow as a person by getting the truth out of me, but maybe as well in sharing it gives content to your channel, which will allow your channel to grow, and then others will come and hopefully be as honest, and then we can all kind of come together. So um, to say that I have, like you said, a platonic love for you uh, through this channel, I believe that is true, and there are several in my wheelhouse that are very similar, whether it be for fun or mind bending or education or just spending time with each other about whatever's going on right now. Um, I can attest to that. Yeah.
Well, I just had a whole body platonic orgasm hearing that. That's exactly what I was looking for this channel to do. I didn't know how to make it happen, but you just did. And
Yeah.
I notice one thing that changes when I do love people is I take them more seriously. It's easy to like love strangers from a distance and they come and go over the year. Like I've probably seen thousands of people on YouTube by now, and they come and go, and so you can only invest so much in each one, however close or however much you enjoy them at the time. But when that love piece is there, they become something more than that. They become people that I care about, I take seriously. I want to know about their well-being. I want to make sure they're having the best life they can have, etc. Which that's not necessarily what I would give a stranger, an acquaintance. And then the other thing I thought of too, the scary part of loving is not even about myself. It's about this pattern I have because I love very deeply and very intensely. Other people somehow for some reason get hurt by my love for them, it it has it's a danger to some people because of its depth and intensity. And so to protect other people and like, well, I want to love this person, but I don't want to break them or damage them like I have so many other people because they can't for whatever reason, it freaks them out. So those are my thoughts. Well, Frank, we are in our personal growth phase, and it's wonderful. Do you see? Look at the stuff that's happening right now, just in the last 10 minutes. Honesty, and with that comes trust and purpose, which is the growth. Because I said the
Yeah,
other
that
day, if there's anything that we could all agree connects us, at least on this channel, it's this idea of coming together to help each other be better people. Like that could at least be the one thread of purpose that brings us here.
yeah, I was a little confused by that comment. Um I've never known you to be unfriendly to anybody.
Oh, yeah, I
Um
can be.
well, if people want to be argumentative, I can understand, argument gets argument, fight gets fight, violence gets violence, stuff like that. But
Yeah, some of it's that,
just
but some of
because
it
you
is me initiating it. It like even when it's not called for. It's my
okay,
abrasive personality disorder.
okay. No, I
Sometimes
just
I'm just mean, just to be mean, just because I can be an asshole. Especially like to punch if it's punching down.
I understand. I do. I have been unwarranted in my aggression at times. I admit, you know. It's almost like I feel a certain type of way, so I'm going to act a certain type of way. And this person made it easy for me to do that, so they
Yeah, but
became
I
the
never want to
object of
blame that person.
affection.
It's not ever their fault. It's because they're not aware. But
Right.
I know exactly what you mean. There's something about that person that just brings it out, and it's so hard not to indulge that. But that's that again. That's finding the good and like rising above those baser impulses. And like, what's a better way to handle this situation than to do that? But it's so sometimes that instinct is so quick, so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to save you from that one, Frank, but it blew up in your little monkey face. Well, what else is new or going on or thoughts that you have? Wisdom. That's a good wisdom. This could be a wisdom channel where people come and bring their personal wisdom that they've gotten from their life experience, and people can use that to become better people.
Well, I think like the situation with my work and having lost some coworkers.
Hmm.
Um I had that platonic love for them. I depended on them as they depended on me to show up each day and handle business. And I watched, because I'm the longest standing in my section over the past 8 years. Um, I started with no knowledge, and I've gone through just about every learning curve and failure in this section. And I grew up with people in that section. And those people that I started on day one with, I trusted them, I depended on them. We had our little sidebars where we really got to know each other, years and years of just being two people together at a time. When we would get a break, we would talk about our lives. Oh, my brother has to live with me, but should I give him free reign in my apartment? Or, hey, I'm about to have a kid, and I'm excited, but at the same time I'm scared. It's my first one, and then a year later, the person that didn't have kids when I was having a kid is having his second kid, and we go down this road, we get to know each other, but then next thing you know, they're gone, and you start over with somebody new.
Hmm.
And for during the majority of this time, we would lose one person at a time. Maybe they didn't like it anymore and they decided to leave, or maybe somebody got let go for whatever reason, and it's one person at a time, so it's two people training one. Whereas now two people are gone and it's one people. I'm basically training four people, candidates, to see, who has the drive and the potential and the skill to make it to the next level and to have that dedication, because it's important enough to where this isn't a job where you just take it and then 6 months later, like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Like, this is a life changing opportunity for somebody to take this job, but at the same time, you know, it it's very disruptive if you just try it out for 6 months to a year and you're like, oh yeah, I really don't like this. I'm gonna go find something else,
Y'all are looking for
because it does
people
take.
that are gonna stay.
Yeah, this is a full time benefited position, and it's very niche because, like I said, there's 100 people in the warehouse at any given time, and the majority of them, the turnover rate is very high. There's always people coming and going because it's considered like the lowest level.
Oh,
Whereas where we are, it's very niche. There's only three of us at max. There's only three of us, and so I am. I have had to pull out the patience card and saying, hey, I believe you. I believe in you. I believe you can do this. But you really have to want to be dedicated to it. I'm willing to teach and put all failure. I in 8 years I've failed in every single way that this department can fail, and I've learned to be able to describe the workarounds in order to be able to teach people to fail less. However, I know that they won't really know, you know, what failure is until it happens, until they make that mistake. But then it will click because, oh, you said this when you were training me, and now I'm looking at the mess that I have to clean up. But now it really clicks. Now I know what it feels like to hit the wrong button. Now I know what it feels like to, have to clean up the mess from hitting the wrong button. And that is the real trainer. The words and the encouragement is one side of training, but cleaning up the mess is the real um the real trainer. Like, I've been told that you're not really a pro until you break something, and
well,
because then you'll
speaking of
fully
mess, I'm
understand.
noticing your new screen name
Oh yes, I guess I visited someplace and they decided to change it for me. You
to
are
draw on your
turn it to
face
whatever.
with markers when you passed out. That's- Speaking of effable, I don't know if y'all know this, but tomorrow is National, what's it called? Coffee with a Cop Day. You can go to your local police station and cops are serving coffee and you can go sit with them and have a cup of coffee. I might do that. You can go pick one out. It's like speed dating.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I've been trying to have coffee with a cop for a long time. Hey, Browns. What's the LARP? We're gonna get a LARP report from our man on the street. He knows all the shady people. Frank, that was a good story. I got a lot out of listening to it. That other people can hear and maybe apply to their situations too. So you're just a what do you call it, a Scrooge, a curmudgeon, a grump, a misanthrope.
It's okay. I've been I've been called so many things, unlikable, unbearable. You know,
Yeah,
it's okay.
me too. Well, we do gay explosions on here, and sometimes straight ones. More often straight ones, really. Lots of straight explosions now that I think about it. Or we used to before we went on our personal growth arc. Now we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be like inner Oprah makeovers for everybody. Come see us in like 6 months.
Well, what do you mean by these explosions?
He's trolling. The script non-script template. The whole what are you saying? Jack's LARPing or all the people that go to his channel? I never understood Talca. Maybe it's a generational thing. I never understood I understand him and his channel and his message. I never understood the audience it draws and what they see in it that I'm not seeing that keeps them so fascinated. Jack Talcott was really Mike Cerrone before Mike.
I've
He had his
spoken with
little
Jack.
locale following that were obsessed with his every move.
Yeah, I feel for some people that rather than just doing their channel for channel sake and the way they feel and putting themselves out there like that, like the self-important, I'm gonna change the world. It's
You
like,
find
oh
that
yeah,
self
like
important? I find it admirable.
yeah, but when you talk about like, well, what I really want to do is meet with the president and I want to talk to the UN and I want to speak in front of Congress and I want to tell them that love is going to save the nation and ultimately the world. It's like, yeah, oh, okay, buddy. Yeah, like you can barely handle some criticisms about the facts that things that people have found out about your life and have posted
Yeah,
about
but
you.
neither can Trump, so they'd be perfect together. Browns, are you saying this is too consistent? He's not that good. Nobody is that good of an actor. This is way too consistent across years of YouTube.
I mean, like you said, hearing the message, it's like, yeah, it sounds like a good message.
He seems like he seems like he is a loving side, loving like he's capable of being loving. They say
Yeah.
love is the answer. Love is the key. They say that about Jesus too. Wait, what? Yeah, send them to me, Browns. What is he like into the camera like ha ha ha, I'm really a federal agent and this is all an act. Watch me. All right, back to our wisdom and our love,
Hmm.
or whatever else you want to. I've been living it. I've been a nihilist for a while. I was slipping into it recently, right on that cut, like the shore. It was lapping at my ankles. Yeah, that's
What
another.
is
Frank, thank you. Finally, something of substance that you said. Love keeps you sexy. This is another reason to love. I think people that love, that have love circulating to them and from them, are sex. There's a certain sexiness to that, a certain glow.
that makes sense.
I know I
It
glow when
reminds
I'm
me of
in it. I glow.
it reminds me of I don't know what it was, one of those talk shows. It was like Jerry Springer or Donahue or something like that, where this couple, this overweight couple, their connection to each other was, you know, maybe accepting that they were so similar in their physical and their mental, that but like their favorite pastime would be like to go to the mall and get a tasty beverage or shake or whatever, and sit on a bench and just critique everybody that walked by. And
I remember those
you
days.
see certain you see certain body types get called out more than others. Like, oh, you're fit, you're tall, you're considered, physically sexy, or you're fat and you're automatically a slob. But these two bigger people got together, and they shared, love between each other, but their favorite pastime would be to sit there and talk to each other about people that they don't know in a derogatory way. And they that was their kick. that was their that was their thing that they did. They don't know these people, but basically the same way that somebody might look and be like, oh, uh,
Well,
superficially you're.
why don't fat people just find some chubby chasers? Like, not everybody thinks they're unattractive. There's people out there that are turned on by specifically that.
I
So
got
if
you.
I was
And I
fat, I would just try to go find those people. Like, these are people that are going to find me naturally attractive.
I mean, in the prime of my life, I I was with some big girls, and the fact that they were big was not the issue. The fact that the thing that brought us together was that we were all smiling and having a good time, and that's what made it beautiful.
Yeah, smiling and having a good time.
It's
Well,
something
he's
that
not in the bushes,
it's it's
locked
not
in the
some stranger.
backyard.
It's not some stranger thing. Like, if you meet somebody doing the same thing at the same place at the same time that you're doing it, there's you know you would really have to dig to find a reason to not be friends or more. you know
Yeah, it's just how deep you take. Like, friendship, people can take them at different levels of depth. So it's how do you know how deep to take it? Either they're gonna stop it at a certain level, or you're gonna decide to stop it at a certain level and not let them any deeper. But there's like a gradient of friendship that you can slide people on up and down, and they can do it to you. And so friendship's kind of like a balance, but between some arbitrary line. Yeah, I like Track a lot. I think he brings good content for what, especially for what I'm trying to do with this channel. So continue.
yeah, I mean, uh, and again, your channel brings things out of me. not just storytelling of my own account, but digging deeper into what maybe it might mean to others,
Hmm.
to where it might connect with a story that anybody might have. But again, that comes from me, my willingness to be honest, to where I feel like it's going to be accepted as honest. You know, I'm not a very good liar. I don't think I speak vaguely. I tell straight up, you know, this is what I've witnessed in my life. And it can turn vague, and then it can turn into somebody else's story that's not vague. But that moment of release of the truth, it it's a good feeling. Whereas if you have to duck and dodge around telling the truth, you know, maybe you'll be lost. The connection can be lost because you refuse to share.
Wait, what causes the connection to be lost?
Uh, other people or someone. If you hear someone tell the truth and you try to connect to it vaguely, it's like okay, but if you if you can't open up and share an honest truth, then how can you be taken? How can that be taken so seriously as believable? I'm maybe I'm not describing it the right way.
I'm I'm trying to process it. Are you saying the other person starts to doubt you?
Maybe not necessarily doubt my truth or my story that is true, but their response to it may be so vague that it's it's like okay, what it semantics or whatever. Like you're not telling a story, and you're just maybe just understanding the points made in someone else's story, and then or sometimes it relates to conflict of ideas, but you're not going to share a story, an honest story, to where it really kind of nails your contradiction or to my story. If I say hey and I go down the whole story of a friend that I had when I was a child, and the there was this tree that had a very sunken in area at the base by its roots, and when it would rain, that would flood, and we would kind of use it as our front yard swimming pool.
Oh,
Um, if you want to say that never happened, it's like it definitely happened.
well, I mean, I have
Swam in
no
the
way of knowing, so to me, it's just a story. I take it as a story, but I have no reason to doubt yours.
Yes. I don't know, but going back to the love thing, and I've always said this is when you love yourself and you're honest with yourself, everything you tell anyone else will be the truth, because you wouldn't want to lie to yourself, because you would have to answer for each and every one of those. And if you run down uh, people that doubt you or refuse to accept you or want to make fun of your stories, it's like, well, that's on them, because they're just going to talk about your stories. They're going to call you out for not telling the truth, when in the reality is they're not sharing anything at all. They're just trying to put you into a dishonest category in their own brain, because they don't want to share honestly in their own brain.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I feel like I've been pretty honest on this channel, and I think YouTube in general. It's hard to not be honest because you're going to get caught. The minute somebody sees you say something on one stream that's different than something you said on another stream, so it doesn't pay to be anything but honest on here. So, like, kind of my working assumption is people are on here being honest because they're going to get caught if they're not. If they're not good at it and they're messy, they're going to get caught. And it's just too easy.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure you understand that you have, it feels so comfortable to, have your face and your voice and my face and my voice up here talking to each other. But to think that at at the snap of a finger that anybody that would ever come up here could be also visit, because I visit other channels, I understand this, that they would be a completely different person or tell maybe the same story with a different outcome. If they're lying here and then but they're coming off with the demeanor and whatever of this channel, but then they go and tell the same story maybe with a different outcome or a different purpose of telling that story to where it's not the same story anymore. It's maybe the
And
same
then, but
conditions,
people
but
would know right away. They'd be like, well, that's not what you said on Jeff's when you were telling the story.
right, exactly,
And then
and that,
somebody would have
that's
a
happened.
clip. See, look, this is what you said then.
Yeah.
Receipts. VV, what's up? Are you? You must not be streaming because you and Mike are both here. I need a. Actually, I don't need a drama scorecard because I don't care anymore. But back when I cared, I need a scorecard of who's on what team this week and who's fighting with who. Okay. This is kind of deep because this is almost the opposite or the contrast to what Track was talking about of that some people are on here trying to make genuine connections through honesty. Like, because that's the honesty is kind of the filter that will lead you into those connections because you're both going to be doing it with each other. And then there's this where everyone's LARPing. It's entertainment. It's you don't know when people are you know who this is? This is Dutchy. This right here, this is Dutchy's MO right here. You can never tell when she's a troll and when she's Dutchy. No, my dear. No, no. No, as much as I'd like to, we're in our post Mike era. It's just going to bring the channel backwards. I tell you what, we can do one day if you want. We can hang out backstage on a stream and chat. But for now, I just want to keep with the wisdom that's been coming out. And I know you probably have some too, but no, I'm not saying that's Dutchy. Mike, I'm saying what Mike just described about playing a character and all that is what Dutchy does. So he's saying that about himself, but it's what all the trolls do. Yeah, I can't believe you did either, honestly. But thank you. You know, you're a one of my original audience members. So it's good seeing you. It's not about being good. It's about my channel. And
Hey, I said this before, um, but since Mike is here, I do want to apologize about, what, because apparently he is here. I do want to apologize about popping off the way that I did, and I want you to hear from my voice that I apologize for that evening where I popped off at you and brought up the hat shit. Um,
the hat was.
I I
I vaguely
I
remember
was
that.
going.
Was that here?
Yes.
All
Um,
right, I will do this. I'll bring him on long enough to receive an apology. But if he starts acting up in the slightest, we're just gonna have a backstage relationship.
Salute.
Don't say nothing.
hey,
Salute.
Go
Mike.
ahead, track.
No excuses. Um, I apologize for popping off at you the way that I did. You did not deserve that from me, and I don't like to be that guy.
Sure.
I felt a certain type of way, and it really didn't have that much to do with you. You just became that person that I directed it towards. So I sincerely apologize to you, Mike.
And I accept it. For some reason, I'm the community punching bag. People just attack me, but no, I
You are
completely
the
respect.
perpetual victim.
Yeah. No, I'm not a victim at all because I can battle back. But no, I do respect what you said just now, and I accept your apology. And the slate is wiped clean. It's like when you remember back in the day at school, yeah, the eraser, the chalk comes off the board. Everything is
You
just
had to go
wiped clean.
clap him.
That's it. That's it. No, but everything is good, man. The one thing about me is that I jump around a lot, but if I want to start over again every day, and I said this to a bunch of people, every single day you can restart over. People will stay in this rut, mentally and physically, but you can start over every single day. So, but it does
Well,
take you.
why does it seem like people are starting over and then fighting and then starting
Sure.
over and fighting and starting over and fighting? If they
It's
can
perfect.
make the choice every single day, then what explains the fighting?
I think what explains the fighting is that underlining pressure or stress or family issues or work issues in their personal life, and it carries over into who do you hurt? You hurt the people that you love the most, right? That's an old adage. And me and Untrackable always got along, always, like never had an argument. All of a sudden, we're like fighting out of nowhere. And so, no, it was just a bad night, and it's forgiven. It's over with. It's done. It's washed away. That's it. It's done. It's the past. And I think a lot of people can't let go of the past, because a lot of people now need a pincushion. They need to just take their aggressions out on other people. And I think it's
You think people come to YouTube to like get their aggression? That's one of the functions.
sure. Well, it depends on what sector. So, so you have the drama sector, right? And the drama sector is a lot of people with mental health issues or some kind of trauma, and then they get levity in taking it out on other people. They feel like it's like an endorphin rush. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? It's like they get the rush, of I'm gonna step on this per. I hate that term. Step on. I'm gonna keep my foot on their neck. I hate that term. But people say that. When people say that, it means they're trying to harm them mentally and physically, and it's
For
just, it's
drama,
really, yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
for entertainment. That
And
sounds sadistic.
it is. And we're not going to drop any names. There's a couple people that you've addressed yourself that were very sadistic towards me,
We
and it's just,
all are, and the internet is
yeah.
not for sissies, so you know my opinion on that.
But if
If you
you're
can't
asking
handle
me,
it,
sure. But Jeff, if
go
you're
right.
asking me, would I go real life on people? Would I call their homes? Would I call their
I like
jobs, their
Wise
family?
Mike. You were saying some really good stuff
Yeah,
about 2 minutes ago.
yeah.
That's that.
But
That's the. If you can bring that mic,
yeah,
that mic can come on panel.
yeah. But I would never harm anybody in real life. Once you log off, you leave it here. You don't go. real life on people.
Yeah,
And
I
the problem is,
believe that. I've
yeah,
never thought you were the type to go real
no,
life.
not at all, man, not at all. I let it go, and that's it. It's done. Um, but I appreciate you in traffic. I really do. I think you're a good guy, man. I really do think you're a good guy. You probably love your family. Your family loves you, and you're a good guy. It just we got out of pocket one night. That was it. We had one argument, and all the times I've known you, we've had one argument. One. That's it. It's not like me and Track fight all the time. No, it was just one
I
time.
barely
And
remember it.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's in the past. It's washed away. But I've been noticing, um, in Jeff, I don't think that you're considered the drama sector. I don't think you are. I think you're considered like more of a
No,
healthy
definitely
sector.
not now. I
Yeah.
don't want to be. But
No, I don't
before
think
I
I don't.
was kind of a drama
Yeah.
placeholder.
When you let it go one night, you had a drama night. Remember that? That was
I've had a
crazy as
few
shit.
drama nights. Yeah.
I was on that one night, and it was I was like, what is this? But people are fighting and yelling and screaming. But yeah, it's more healthy to have a
He's
conversation.
not back.
Yeah,
He's up here because Track wanted to personally
yeah,
apologize to him, so I let him
it's
on to receive an apology. And believe it or not, he brought some really good wisdom
yeah.
that pertained to the conversation we were having. And if Mike can
Call it.
bring that kind of content, he
Yeah.
can come up. But the minute it drifts from
No, no, you're
that, he's
fine.
gonna have to go backstage.
It's not gonna go sideways, and I think it's more like I'm on probation right now. I'm on probation. So you're my parole officer. But you know, if
I just peeked at it. I noticed it was
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah, I will
yeah.
definitely take a look.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody else on a different panel,
Unless he
and
wants to
we
play
went
it here.
we went backstage, right? We went backstage, and they're like, "Damn, you're a different person than you are." So you're actually meeting the real me. This is actually me. I'm very calm. I'm very nice.
You're a
I'm very
lot of
soft.
people.
Yeah, no, no, I'm really
It's
not.
hard to
I
know
have a
who the actual Mike is.
sir. I want you to see this. I want you to go. I don't like promoting anyone else's channels, okay? But on yours. But did you see my son online?
On was it on Joey's
Yeah,
when he was sitting beside you? That
yeah.
yeah, I did. Yeah,
But you can see how I change, and then the love that I have for my. You could see the
I did see
connection.
you were a proud dad. That was
Yeah, yeah.
palpable.
And we look just alike. Dude, he's huge, bro. He's fucking huge.
And
Sorry,
Mike,
Kurt.
he was very like
Yeah,
well behaved and
yeah,
presented
yeah,
himself like he made a good impression.
yeah. Very,
He
very
wasn't
nice
all
young
weird
man.
and crazy.
No, no, he's not. I raised him. I raised him very well, and I didn't raise him on YouTube character. I raised him on
I was
his
about to
real
say you would
father.
never think he came out of the Panelverse.
Yeah, no, not at all, not at all. And every single day, I love you. What do you need, son? With the Bob, get him in his first car. Counseling him when he had a breakup. And just as in as a father. It's gonna be all right. Remember your first breakup. When you're 17 years old and you break up with someone you think that you're in love with, but you're just still a kid. You know. But I always raised him right. I always did, and he's such a nice man. He is. He's a really good guy, man. And he's following he's a private investigator, and he's deputized, so he does law enforcement work. He doesn't
Oh,
surveillance.
interesting.
That's what he does. So he followed, but the whole thing is that but
What's
he's
his take on the Panelverse and all of this
when I
abuse of
talked to him,
911 and
sure. So when I went through all that stuff with him, he goes, Dad, he goes, I will look into it. He goes because it is, it's against the law, So he said, I'll look into it, and that's what he told me. So I don't press
okay.
him. He can do whatever he wants, but he does have some power. So I'll look into it. And there's another person working on. There's a detective on it too as well.
Okay.
But the thing is that Jeff, this is the thing. If someone calls your house as follow,
This
no,
is
no, I'm
where
saying
nope. This is where
no.
we're not
I'm just
going. Save it for Joey.
yeah.
Save it for
But the
Joey's.
thing is that if you want to contact somebody out of love and respect, like if I called you, Jeff,
You
and I
just
said,
try to
Jeff,
throw those words in to
no,
get
no,
your
I'm saying, but
story out
listen,
because you know that's the topic. Save it for Joey's.
That's right. I just think someone, if you want to approach somebody, be positive. Don't be negative. Is that good?
It depends on your goal, but if you're trying to
Yeah.
get something from the person, I would
Yeah.
start with positivity for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, you get more. Well, you get more bees with honey than vinegar. The whole thing is
Yeah,
like
flies. That
charm
would always
flies
confuse me
fly.
because who's trying to catch flies in the first place? Who wants
I
flies?
know. I hate flies, bro. We have so many. I don't know what it is because I don't know if they are attracted by like the garden we have, but we go outside. There's so many flies outside, and you have to close the sliding glass door real fast because they'll come in the house.
I don't know if it's normal to have
Yeah,
flies all over your garden.
I don't know. I don't know. But they're
Bees and stuff
outside.
I've seen.
Yeah. Well,
Hummingbirds,
you know why, Jeff? You know
fairies.
why? I know why. Because we'll use manure in some of the
Oh,
pots,
yeah. Yeah,
so they
makes sense.
probably smell. The poop, the manure. Yeah, poop plants. Yeah. But other than that, no, everything's. How are you doing? How's everything going in your life?
I'm I'm going good.
Trackable. How about you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good. That's awesome.
Uh, you know, I feel myself in a teacher role at work,
Mhm.
and it brings more hours, which brings more money, and
Mhm.
know, it was very sad to lose those coworkers, and hopefully
Yeah.
it's a blessing in disguise for everyone involved.
Yep.
Hopefully they find some place where they feel comfortable, where they can work and earn their living, and hopefully they like it better than where they were.
Sure.
Um, some people put up with work, and then it gets to a boiling point, and it ends. And hopefully they find some place where they feel like they belong. Because I feel like
Yeah.
I belong where I am,
Goes in too.
and, and replacing them is a hardship, but it's a hardship I'm willing to put up with, and it's making me more money. So them not being there anymore, it's a hardship because I have to bring up new people. I have to bring them to my level. Um, but at the same time, it's a blessing because I'm making more money, and and I get to train them, so their failures will be mine, and I'm okay with that because then we once it comes to that, it's like we all learn together.
Definitely. I'll tell you this. When COVID hit, right? We're talking about 5 years ago, right? So I'm like approaching like 45, 46 years old, right? And I'm the general sales manager. So I'm the guy who, because I have 20 years experience in that field, carpet cleaning and restoration, but more restoration. In other words, floods, when your house gets flooded, or hotels, pipes break and stuff like that. So you're an essential worker. You have to go and you have to, you know, take care of the flood. Now, carpet cleaning dropped a little bit because people weren't really wanting their house. There were still some, but but the floods, and I had to go back on the truck at 45 years old because the 20-something-year-old kids didn't want to work. They were getting 900 bucks a week to stay at home. And here you have a 45-year-old man out there
Yeah,
working.
can you
So
blame them?
I could blame them because they're able-bodied kids. Well, not kids, grown
Yeah,
men,
but they're
but
getting $900 to stay home.
check this out. And this is the truth, guys. I'm not lying to you. When I was working and they were gone, I'm making 17 to $1,800 a week. But I'm working 60 hours a week, covered in sewage and all this other stuff. So yes, I chose to work other than stop, because I could have played that card, and my salary I would have made about $1,000 a week, with the COVID stuff. But I chose to work because I was dedicated to the company. The company owner was actually my good friend, and I wasn't going to walk away. But just imagine, and this is right before my last knee surgery. So I had a bad knee
It's
out
all
there,
coming back.
yeah, doing everything. So what I can say is that I'm proud to say that I never took stimulus money. I've never taken the COVID stuff. I continue to work. I never did. And if people did, that's okay. That's on them. But I didn't turn my back on my friend, the business owner. I continued to work. I
Okay, well,
kept going.
speaking of friends, I want to watch this new. We're going to take a satanic intermission, courtesy of Moose. It's full of sexy people, guys and girls, and we'll watch his new AI video.
Gotcha.
He's doing really good work lately. I think he has a future in this. Is that the hot guy? That's way out of my league. See, this is so good. This is good. How real is it? How did you tell the AI to make the most attractive people that you could possibly think of? She's even attractive to me. That's how good this AI is. That was cool. That was really cool. I don't know how much of this you're deliberately putting in and how much the AI is random. Either way, it's all good. Look at that. Like, this is the same type of professional attention and actual video editor would give a music video. They're creating a live. The same timing, the same cuts. And not everybody's has that, so it can't be just the AI. So she's the siren. She's up to no good. She walks like a man. Wizard. I love that scene. I love this scene. Of this entire wreck, a masterpiece of brokenness, with your thighs around my neck. With your thighs around my neck. So short. The sun is coming. See that? Just this little. I don't know if the AI did that or Moose added that. But that little touch, just little things like that. Look at that. This. So cool. Thank you, Moose.
That stuff scares me, man.
The AI
AI
videos.
stuff scares me.
They're gonna start making some of you. I'm surprised.
No, there's already a couple out there. There's a couple out there.
By the AI.
Yeah, there's a couple out there. Yeah, they made one. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember offhand who it was, but they made one of me saying things, and you could see because my mouth is not saying what it's saying, in my generated voice. And yeah, so it's pretty sad that people do this stuff. Like they invest so much time in like Not saying Moose is great. I'm saying when someone's trying to fame somebody, saying something they're not saying, like dropping like N bombs and stuff. It's the wildest stuff I've ever seen, man. You know, people are very vindictive and sick. They are. There's a lot of sick people, Jeff.
Hey,
There is.
really?
Yeah, a lot of sick people out there.
Gen X Jeff. X Jeff. Um, are you saying like send you a theme and then send you some actual lyrics, like some starter lyrics or something? Or do you write the? I thought the AI wrote the lyrics. Are you writing the lyrics to this? That's even more brilliant. What
Yeah,
is an atro? What is an atro projection?
these
And
freaking
who are you,
jets, man,
Volt?
flying nonstop, man. Goodness gracious.
All right, Mike. Do you have any more wisdom for us?
No, you want me to drop?
I want you to drop some wisdom.
Just these jets are blowing my mind, bro. You were talking about love, right? So you were talking about love, and do you want to find love again? And it's hard
Well,
because,
just love between people in general. Like, do you?
sure,
I know you love your son. Do you have love for other people? Are there people on YouTube?
if you're asking me, the love for my son
I
is
guess I am
no,
asking.
it's asking me. The love for my son is almost it's like I'll give you an example. You love somebody so much, right? You don't see them, right? So it's bearable because you don't see them because they're not around you. You love them, but they
That's
don't.
worse.
But no, when they come and they see you, and then they leave, your heart breaks
Yeah,
because you miss them. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
So I
I
think
do.
sometimes if it's dormant, in other words, that love can be dormant, where you think about them and you love them, but you're not in front of them. They're not in your presence. And when you're presence, all those feelings, they come back, you know? And but the whole thing is that do I love people? I do. I do. And the thing is that going back to church again, it helped me reconnect and forgive people, forgive myself, try to bridge gaps that I bridges that I burned, and I'm trying my hardest, man. But
Did
when it
you
comes
do
to
you do
what
you use Jesus for any of that? Does he
yeah,
help or play a role in this?
he does. He's the one who was the most selfless person in my belief. He gave his life for us. He was selfless. And if a lot of us were more selfless, I think we would be better people. Now, I don't want to I don't want to go on a cross. I'm not trying to laugh at that, but the whole thing is that
Yeah, I don't
we
think
need to
anyone's gonna take
learn
you seriously as Jesus.
yeah, we need to learn his message of, you know, just love everybody you meet. Even if it's a small amount, treat people with respect. Don't look
What
at race,
what
color, creed.
what
Yeah,
is talk about the selflessness? Because that kind
sure.
of disturbs me too a little bit.
Well, the
It seems
selflessness.
culty.
Well, the whole thing is this: is that everyone loves money, right? They want to be rich. They want to have driving a Bugatti, having a big house, and that's understandable because that's human nature. It's human nature. But the thing is,
Status.
is that you can be happier living a normal life than living a millionaire's life. And the reason being is because you're helping other people and you're more humble. The meek shall inherit the earth. So the whole thing is that when it comes to rags and when it comes to like riches, a lot of negativity comes with it because you start to look down on people that don't have the same thing you do. Does that make sense to you? How many?
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
it makes sense without me. I've never had money to know the other side how they. I might think differently if I had the money, so I'd have to have both and then
Yeah.
evaluate. But only having the one side of it, it makes sense from that side.
So there was many years that I made six figures, and this is working in sales, and this is the truth. I'm not bullshitting you, but remember, I had four kids, so and a house and two cars. So even making six figures, you're not rich. You're just getting by.
Like middle
You know,
class.
you're getting by. But I know people personally. My uncle, he's passed away. Not going to say his name, but he was a multi millionaire back in the '90s, and he was an asshole. He was an asshole. And the thing is that But when he wasn't rich, when he first started out, he was the coolest guy ever. So all I'm trying to say is that money does corrupt some people when they feel like they're entitled. They feel like they're better than someone that's just working at Walmart.
My ex was like
And
that. It was all I couldn't stand to be around it. It was so
yeah,
disgusting.
and I love going to his house. So I'd go to his house. He lived out in Long Island, right? And I don't mind saying he lived in Oyster Bay, right? Oyster Bay is a very prominent place on Long Island, right? They had a mansion, right? And I'm not, bro, I'm not lying to you. And and we would go there, and every time we visit like every time a couple months, he would give me, my sister, my brother $100 bill. I mean, handing a 11-year-old $100 bill, that's like, wow. It's like, holy shit, like, and,
Crazy.
but he was flexing. He was flexing. You know what I'm saying? So in a
Oh
way,
yeah.
it was great to get 100, but then my dad was like, I can't give my kids $300. It was almost like a flex. But there are some people that are rich that are really cool people, but I think you know people demean people too much. When it comes to, well, my wife is hotter than you, I have more money
Well,
than you.
that's what
Look, my
status is.
yeah, my
One
car
of
is
the
nicer than yours.
effects
But
of
I think if
status.
if people that were well off would look out for other people that were maybe not that good in life, I
No
think it
one's
would be.
gonna do that. Rich people are not gonna walk around spending their money on homeless people and poor people and all that. If anything, they're gonna give to a charity.
Well, I've seen it firsthand with the Catholic Church. I'm just telling you my experience. We have some people that in the church that are very well off, and they donate.
Oh,
And
okay.
they'll donate, and what they'll do is, if you can't pay your power bill and you can
Oh
prove it,
yeah.
they'll
They have
pay
that
it
here in
for you.
Seattle.
Yeah, and then the food drives,
Yeah.
getting all the food together, and they
We
one
live in a
one
material
gentleman
world.
one gentleman bought two vans, so the pantry can deliver to encampments. Yeah, I mean, there are people that do good things, and they're not looking for tax write-offs. There are people that have a good heart. They are, but Jeff, it's dwindling. People are getting more and more
Well,
evil.
we're trying to bring love back.
Yeah,
We're trying to, I don't
hopefully,
know,
man.
I think that's part of the answer.
That's just my outlook on it.
And
But
please jump in if you, whenever you have anything.
No, it makes sense.
yeah,
Um, again, like I said about people getting along,
mhm,
there will be people who have that look down on those that don't, and there will be people that don't and look at those who have like you're not doing enough with what you have. It's like there's criticism both ways,
Hmm.
but like I said about yeah, getting along and having love for one another, just in general. If you do the same thing at the same place at the same time, you might have a friend. It doesn't matter that I can barely afford to go out and be in public, but I might be sitting right next to somebody who has the entire world at their fingertips. But if we're sitting at the same place, sipping a pint at the bar, looking at the game that's on in the middle of the day, the conversation doesn't have to be what do you have and what do you don't have. It's it's hey, we're both here right now. Let's just enjoy the now,
yeah.
you know.
And there are people that are well off that are very nice. And I'll tell you this: I used to go to. I don't go out anymore because it's a little wild. But there's a Giants bar. In other words, it's a sports bar, but it's a Giants themes bar. New York Giants. I'm a diehard New York Giants fan, right? And there was a guy in there all the time, and we'd always like hang out at the same table and just kick it and stuff like that. And I found out later that he's a franchisee of McDonald's, and he owns four McDonald's. I'm like, this guy is wealthy,
You
but
can
he
get
was the
wealthy from owning McDonald's.
oh my god, bro, owning four McDonald's, you could be wealthy from owning one,
Really?
but
But
but he
does
was
that change? Does that change how you? know the person and what they mean to you
No,
because you
no,
found out that they have something.
not at all. He was the nicest guy. You would never know. He was approachable, hung out, never flexed,
I
never,
mean, we
no
don't know
jewelry.
who in the Panelverse we don't is
Yeah.
out there. We don't know what
So
money people have.
when I found out, I was like, wow. And I'm like, that's great, man. He goes, yeah. He goes, and he said to me, he goes, I'm always looking for managers. Let me know if you want to work for me. So I was like, yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Oh, I heard people.
No, it makes sense. I'm very close to people that have, and I've had my wild ideas and I've had my hardships, but just because they have doesn't mean that they are an outlet to like, oh, well, you have, I'm gonna come and say, hey, can you save me because I'm short this month or something like that. It's like, no, it's like just I'm I need to be more disciplined rather than just looking. I'm not saying this about what necessarily about what Mike and who he knows, or anybody else and who they know, but some people will see somebody who has and look at them as like an outlet, like
Oh, they'll punch up.
not necessarily punch up, but they'll ask. They will ask because it'll be like, oh well, I could play this little victim. It's like, oh, I just need $200, and then all my bills will be good, and I know that this person has, so I'm just gonna, play the little sad victim and ask for the $200 in a roundabout kind of way, and maybe out of the goodness of their heart, it'll be, a
Yeah,
tear
that
in the ocean
reminds
for
me. Send money. What Track's saying right there. Listen to it. It's a good pitch.
a lot of, and especially when it comes to finances, a lot of people don't want to own their own failures and change the way that they live. To when it could be the most minor change, and they could be good all on their own. Instead, they just see somebody who has, and they just find a way to get in his pockets. And I find that to be kind of disgusting.
I don't even think about rich. They don't. They're like in their own world. I don't. They don't. I don't see them. They don't bother me. I don't worry about them. Wonder about them. They're out there doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. Our paths never cross. I don't see what the problem is.
No, and I've been on the plus side of those types of interactions before, where I am so far from rich, but I guess the perception, a solid relationship at home, I have a house, we have our cars that get us to and from work, but we put in the work to have what we have. And then you get a family member that, oh, if I could just get $100, I'll survive for a month, and I promise I'll pay you back. And it's like, if I give you $100, you know, next thing you know, I'm going to be late on my bills, and being late costs more than it does anyway. And it's like, okay, yeah, I could feel good about helping you out, but I'll never believe that you'll pay me back. You'll just come back for more.
That's why I don't loan money. I don't. I don't ever. If you need money, I'll just give it to you. I don't expect to ever get it back.
Yeah, I've, I've been down that road, and when I gave that person, it's been a long time, and this person is doing much better for themselves once they got the hard lesson of nobody's going to give you anything. I was the one that
Yeah,
gave them something.
they
I
don't give
gave them
anything.
something, but the whole all this means so much, and really it was fuel them going further down the wrong road. And now, many years later, that person's gotten the hard lessons, and they are doing much better for themselves by not giving them. They're asking for. Just I
Asking.
I did
Y'all
help.
should go
I
watch
did help.
Moose's video on passing the collection plate. Of, it has Satan in it, and we're at that portion of the show anyway. So we have super chats. We have membership the new membership tier. I'm doing a members only stream tomorrow. So now's your chance to join up and participate. Um, just send money. It supports the channel. It's a good cause, I think, and hopefully you get something out of it. Don't send anything if you don't get anything out of it. But if you get something out of this channel and you're able to throw a little something my way, it definitely helps. I'm going to be doing a little bit of upgrading in the next few weeks. So it's going to go to some of that as well. So pass the collection plate. And thank you. Okay, y'all, the service can resume.
Just give me a
Yeah,
couple minutes. I'm just eating something. Just eating something. Just give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
I don't want to eat on camera.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. No,
Well, gentlemen in chat, I'm gonna say goodnight. It was good to see you as always.
yeah, great
Uh,
catching up. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
and keep moving on with your channel, Jeff. You are making leaps and bounds, and congratulations. And keep up the good work. And it's always good to see you and chat with you. And Mike, it's always good to see you. And this is one of those. I would consider it like a brotherly love through the internet that coincides with the topic. So take care of yourself, and I wish the best for you.
Thank you, brother. I'll always back you, man. You're my friend. I'll always back you, and thank you for
Don't
making
listen
amends
to him.
tonight.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
No,
All right,
it's all fair.
take care,
Take care
Truck.
of each other.
I hope you continue coming back. All right, you got any
Jeff, that was
last word?
that was that was that was positive, bro. Why are you telling me don't listen to me? That was
Oh.
positive. No,
Cause you do. You spent a year telling me that, and then you're going around saying
no. He
stuff.
he
So
he he said sorry I was out of pocket, and I said to him I'm sorry about that other stuff, and everything's good, man.
the part
Everything's
about I'll
copacetic.
never say anything bad about you. You set yourself up
Sorry,
when you say that.
the jets are flying over. Sorry about that. Yeah, no. If you're dropping, man, I'll just drop down. Have a great night, bro.
You too, Mike. Take care. All right, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow, members only. So sign up. They're very intimate. I don't know. I really enjoy them. So, and then Thursday I'll be back for the normal stream, and I'll give out a few more memberships for the new tier. So, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and hopefully I see some of you tomorrow. All of you, but at least some of you, and then Thursday, hopefully I see you again. All right, everybody. Hail Satan. This we're gonna work on.